Have you ever felt jealous of someone even when you didn't want to? Hey ladies, it's Dominga. Today we're going to be talking about how jealousy is actually just a scarcity mindset. And I have my handy dandy brand new iPad with all of my notes, so buckle up. Jealousy isn't actually about other people. It's about what you believe is missing from your life. And by the end of this video, you'll understand what fuels it and how to stop it. To start doing this work, you need to separate jealousy from your identity and who you are as a person. So think of it as a signal and not a flaw. So let's define it simply. Jealousy is an emotional response to a perceived threat or lack. It's important to note jealousy is a reaction and insecurity is the underlying belief. Now we need to define what a scarcity mindset is, because your scarcity mindset is what's fueling your jealousy, especially if it's a tendency that you see over and over. You may have a scarcity mindset if you believe that there's not enough room for everyone, whether that means there's not enough love, there's not enough opportunity, there's not enough room for success for everyone. If you commonly think if they win, I lose, that's how you know this is for you. This is how jealousy and scarcity are interconnected. Say you're in a romantic relationship and you experience a lot of jealousy with your partner. This may be because you have a fear of replaceability. And it's important to try and trace that back to the first time you ever felt it, because it's very likely it might come from your childhood or your early developmental years. If you were often not chosen, say, by your parents or your early caretakers, I could see how you'd be an adult who believes that you won't be chosen. The reframe for this is any partner that I'd want to be with is going to only have eyes for me. And if they don't, guess what? There are 9 billion other people. And you'd be more focused on whether or not you really like them compared to if they really like you. If you're experiencing friend jealousy, you might be worried that you'll be left behind or that you'll be inevitably rejected. Once again, could potentially come from your childhood. And one of the most common ones is career jealousy. And here's a personal example. In my first news job out of school, many of my colleagues were all sort of competing to try and make it to the anchor desk. For many reporters, it seemed as a bit of a promotion, and it's a little bit less work depending on who you ask. So one girl made it to the desk faster than the rest of us, and it really upset some of the other reporters because she did it in somewhat of an unethical way. She didn't ask our boss for that promotion, so to speak. She just anchored a half-hour show on her own by asking the anchor who was traditionally on that show if she could fill in just for a little block for them so she could get experience. So they both wanted something out of that deal. They worked together, they made it happen, and a lot of the other girls got upset. I remember one of my friends at the time who was my colleague, she said, well, she shouldn't have been able to have that opportunity. And it kind of triggered what I'm talking about right now in my mind at that time, that, well, if you're meant to be on the desk someday, you absolutely will be. And there's nothing that's going to get in the way of you not being able to have that experience, because if it's for you, it's not going to pass you, which I do think somewhat comes from my religious set of beliefs. I do believe there's some level of divinity to life. But at the same time, in a more literal way, I really do believe that there's enough opportunity for everyone. And to break it down even more literally, there are so many news stations across the globe. You're going to have an opportunity to anchor a show if you stay in the industry. It kind of only makes sense. So my point here is jealousy only shows up when you believe somebody else having something means you can't. And that's really your fault and not theirs. I use the word fault to energize you to take personal accountability, but not to make you feel guilty. Instead, it's really important to lean into understanding yourself and understanding your emotions, giving those pieces of you grace, because that's how you can fix them. Like I said earlier, it can come from childhood conditioning, but also comparison culture and social media, past experiences of rejection, loss, competition. And even though you didn't set these beliefs, you do have the power to change them. And this is where the fun comes in. These are the practical steps that can help you stop feeling jealous. Number 1, identify the real fear. Ask yourself, what do I think I'm going to lose? Is it attention, security, worth, opportunity? And after you give that a name, number 2 is question the scarcity story. Am I actually limited here? Do I have evidence of what I'm feeling? Has someone else's success truly ever blocked mine? And if any of those answers actually are yes, try and find a different way to write the narrative. In that story that I used as an example earlier, the girl who was upset that she didn't make it to the anchor desk first could have reframed the situation and gone to the boss directly and said, hey, I'm looking to anchor too. Is there an opportunity for me to fill in? Or is there anything that I can do to be on your radar? You have more power than you think. Step 3, shift from comparison into curiosity. Ask yourself, why were they selected over me? Or in other words, what can I learn from this? I personally learned this from pageantry, but sometimes someone being chosen over you for a sports team or in your career or in a friendship or a relationship of some sort actually can give you data to refine yourself. And I love the saying to take what you need but leave what you don't. The more secure you feel in your own set of standards, in your values, and in your skill set, the less room other people have to tell you who you are. And therefore, there's less room for jealousy and insecurity to sneak in. Jealousy can often point to desires you haven't admitted in areas you want to grow. For example, if you see a girl in public and you think she looks better than you, or you like her hair and her outfit and her aura and her energy, it might be because she's actually embodying who you wish you were. Jealousy is often just showing you what matters to you and the work that there is to be done. Another saying I love is gratitude is your currency, and it's really true. The more thankful you are for the things that you presently have, the more things want to come to you. So here's a little call to action. Sit and journal and think to yourself about where you feel the most scarcity and jealousy in your life, and use these tips and make a plan to reroute it. If you enjoy this kind of mindset and emotional growth content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what resonated with you down below. And of course, I love you. You're made with so much intention, and I'll see you soon. Bye.